It's like the best thing in the world, you know? But
I feel
me,
like
I just eat
sometimes I
some
don't
fruit.
taste nothing, though.
For real?
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing about weed. It makes everything taste great.
Sometimes I can taste it and it's really good. Other times I just don't taste anything.
I can taste every ingredient in something.
I wake up in the middle of the night, too, and I'm like really cotton mouth. I'm like, oh, water.
Babe, did you buy a turkey for tomorrow like I told you?
Oh, sorry, babe. I forgot.
Oh. Howdy there, folks. Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be celebrating Thanksgiving together. I've got dinner cooking in the oven right now as we speak, and it'll probably be done in about maybe 20-25 minutes. So just hang out with me for a little bit, let's talk, and by the time the video is over, we will have some food ready. It smells really good right now. So Thanksgiving is a great time of year for you and your family to gather together, enjoy each other's company, talk about all the things you're thankful for, eat a shit ton of very unhealthy food, and have diarrhea for the rest of the week. Some people don't get to enjoy this, as we will come to learn, because today I have gathered 3 cases where they were so close to eating a nice Thanksgiving dinner or even ate it, but it was ruined by something really terrible. Pretty not great. That's how scholars would describe it. And it all around just kind of ruined the holiday as a whole. And we don't really want spoiled sports, you know, people that ruin things for everybody else. But we're going to analyze that today because these people ruined Thanksgiving for everybody else with murder. They murdered other people on Thanksgiving. It's turkey time, and you stuff the turkey down the person's throat, choke them to death, and tie them in bulk cord around their throat, string them up right outside of their house, and then you put stuffing up their ass. So we got 3 cases to look at today, and we are going to start on one of the more interesting ones. I should probably save that for last, but my video structure sucks balls. We are looking at Omima Ari Nelson today. She is most known for her modeling career. That's not true. She cooked and ate her husband for Thanksgiving, and we're going to get into that. So, Ari was born in Cairo, Egypt around 1968, and it's debated when she was actually born, but most agree it was 1968. Her background and her childhood as a whole is kind of shady and diluted. Not a lot of people know exactly what she went through, but there are speculations and some descriptions given. At age 6, she underwent female circumcision, which is just mutilation to appease the Egyptian beauty standards. I'm not going to show a picture because I would get my video banned immediately, but if you are interested, you can just look it up. It's kind of gross. In 1986, she immigrated to the US after she married an American citizen named Roger Stainbrook. She then divorced him. She went in straight for that green card. She knew what she wanted. She got it, and then she just left him. She's for the street. She's a bitch. She's a whore. A trampulous slut, as some might call her. I've got a couple of friends at Harvard, they're professors. They would describe such a woman as an unbridled wench. Ari lived in Southern California working as a nanny and a model. She lived a troubled life for the next 5 years. It was filled with rampant sex, crime, and traffic violations. Sounds like she's just living her best life, and she used different names to solicit sex with older men. Sounds like somebody I know. Prosecutors called her almost hooker-like. Prosecutors called her almost hooker-like. That's not too cool. We shouldn't judge people based off of their lifestyle. If they want to solicit sex from older men to get money from them, go get that bag, sis. Slay, bitch. So in 1989, Omima stole her boyfriend's car, and then she also bit the breast of a female security guard, attempting to stop her from shoplifting. I think Omima was a kleptomaniac. No reports really said that for certain, But everywhere you look, Omaima was stealing something, or she was doing something to receive something that she wanted. I don't know if that really makes her a kleptomaniac, but I think that puts her in the same realm. That might just make her a really bad person. I didn't look up the term kleptomaniac. Editor put the term kleptomaniac on screen. Was I wrong? I might have been wrong. In 1990, she was having kinky bondage sex with a 61-year-old man named Robert Hansen. When she pointed a gun at him, 'tis the season, when she pointed a gun at him while he was tied up in leather and attempted to rob him. I can't believe you reported that. If that happened to me, I would have never reported it to anybody. That's the most embarrassing thing in the world. If that happened to me, I wouldn't say a single word. Because what would I tell the police? I was tied up in leather after getting lashed like a runaway slave. It's not really something I'd be too proud of, but Robert Hansen didn't give a fuck. He told the police anyways. Later that year, another boyfriend named Richard Gray accused Omaima of putting a knife to his throat, which Omaima claimed was part of a sex game. So either Omaima is a liar, or she's just very, very kinky and would put the men that she would date into these very, very dangerous situations where she would threaten to kill them, more than likely steal from them. It was a business tactic. Not really, it wasn't good business, but it was business that would satisfy her. So we'll see more of this stuff when in 1991, Omaima met William Edwin Bill Nelson, a 56-year-old pilot slash computer programmer slash drug smuggler. And she met him in a bar where he proposed to her just 2 days later. So yet again, she's targeted a much older man who seems to have some money on him. The couple told Bill's attorney, John Fitzgibbon, that they got married in either Phoenix or Las Vegas, but neither cities had records of their marriage, meaning that John is misremembering or they never got married in the first place. I would probably take the latter. I don't think they got married at all. They probably lied. This detail was later brought into question during the trial when an attorney representing Kathy Nelson, Bill Nelson's ex-wife, said the divorce proceedings were incomplete, and you can't get married to someone until you're divorced from somebody, or just not married at all. It's November 28th, 1991. Omaima claimed that Bill had sexually assaulted her during bondage play. More bondage. There's a lot of bondage, a lot of kinky sex. I wish I was there. She claimed to have broken out of her restraints, hit Bill with a lamp, stabbed him with scissors, and bludgeoned him with a clothes iron. So here's the thing, I don't really know much about bondage play, but what really counts as sexual assault during bondage play? I thought the whole idea about bondage was that it was pretty much sexual assault, where they would tie you up in leather, or you'd be like hanging on like a carousel, and they'd fuck you in the ass. I watched 50 Shades of Grey. It's pretty much sexual assault, so I don't really know what counts as sexual assault during bondage play, but I feel like Omaima is more than likely bullshitting, because she's a bad person. She's a terrible person. So she hit Bill with a lamp, stabbed him with scissors, and bludgeoned him with a clothes iron. And then she went a little bit over the top. I would have stopped at the clothes iron, but she cut his body up into little pieces, castrated him, cooked his head, and boiled his hands to remove fingerprints. Afterwards, she mixed his body with leftover turkey and attempted to shred it into the garbage disposal, seemingly to make it so that his body was unrecognizable from the turkey that she was shredding in real time. The Nelsons' neighbors evidently heard the disposal running for hours after the time of Bill's death. She was at it for a good long while. She was stuffing his body parts like she was trying to fudge pack. After dismembering his body for just about 12 hours straight, Omaima drove around Orange County trying to convince ex-boyfriends and past lovers to help discard the body. Among these boyfriends was Richard Gray, the man she threatened with a knife during a friendly sex game. So she also tried convincing an ex-lover, Jose Esquivel, who called the police and had her arrested. Omaima later claimed that Nelson never sexually assaulted her, and that 2 men and 3 guys... That can't be right. I'm gonna have to look that up again. 2 women and 3 guys broke into the apartment, drugged her, murdered Nelson, planted his dismembered remains to frame her. What a long process to go through just to frame Omaima. That definitely never happened. 100% never happened. Omaima just shredded him to pieces. She also told her psychiatrist that she cooked him up and ate him for Thanksgiving. According to her, she cooked his ribs and ate them like barbecue. In 1993, Omaima was sentenced to 27 years to life in prison. She became eligible for parole in 2006, but she was denied twice due to her being unpredictable and dangerous, and will not be eligible for parole again until 2026. oh my god, just fucking kill her. And they're like, just give her 27 years. And she's up for parole. That's the crazy part. But I think we should just kill her. Next on this list, we have one Paul Michael Merhige. I don't care. He killed 4 family members after dinner. So this is where the guy actually got to enjoy Thanksgiving dinner before blasting his entire family away with a handgun. And not the entire family, but most of them. So his early life is kind of interesting. What we do know is that he was well liked in school, he was an honor student, and he had rampant depression, making him want to kill himself. That's a pretty big contrast between the two of them. A little historical fun fact about his family: his aunt Salwa killed her ex-husband, 2 daughters, and then herself in 1973. I would have the same response if my name was Salwa. The more depressing things about Paul is that he just couldn't hold a job and was financially supported by his parents, so pretty much a Redditor. Paul was a OG Redditor. His mental disturbance spanned from obesity to insomnia, and he refused to take any prescription medicine and threatened to kill one of his sisters multiple times. Oh my god. Put this guy in jail. I think it's partially the parents' fault. If my kid, I don't have a kid, but hypothetically, if I had 2 kids and one was full grown and the other one was full grown, or one was full grown and the other one was doesn't matter. If one was full grown and he was threatening to kill the other one over and over again, like genuinely kill them, I would send them away to a military school and never see them again. I don't care. After threatening to kill your own siblings multiple times, I feel like you should have seen this coming at least a little bit. But lo and behold, most of them were shocked. On November 26, 2009, that was Thanksgiving Day. Paul was enjoying dinner with his family at his cousin's home and spent hours laughing and singing with them when out of nowhere, Paul left, came back with a gun, and shot his twin sisters Carla and Lisa. Lisa was pregnant at the time. It was a triple homicide and was completely fucked. He also shot his brother-in-law Patrick. Patrick didn't die, but he was subsequently put into a 3-month coma due to his injuries. And then he shot his 76-year-old Aunt Ramonda Joseph, killing her. He attempted to kill her husband, but the gun wouldn't fire. Because of this, he decided to do some cringy Joker line. He turned around, walked away, and he said, "I've been waiting 20 years to do this," and walked upstairs and then shot his 6-year-old cousin's daughter to death. This guy is a monster piece of shit. He fled the scene of the crimes and led the police into a manhunt that lasted around 3 months, and Merhige was arrested in the Florida Keys on January 2nd, 2010. October 27, 2011, Paul pleaded guilty to all charges and was sentenced to 7 life sentences without parole. I don't know exactly what one life sentence on top of the other does. I feel like 1 life sentence means you're in there for life, where they just like kind of tack on a couple more. Well, that's 7. That's how serious we are. There's 7 of them, not just 1, 7 of them. This plea spared him the death sentence because they were originally searching for lethal injection, but he pleaded guilty, so it saved his life. That's kind of fucked up. Just fucking kill the guy. I don't understand why you can't just kill people that mass murder other people or eat their husbands. So if this guy, Merhige, was the OG Redditor, Byron David Smith would be the ultimate Redditor, because everything about this story just screams 4chan Redditor user. So Byron David Smith was a man who shot and killed 2 teen burglars, Nicholas Brady and Haley Kiefer. He was a 64-year-old retired security engineering officer. He was living in Little Falls, Minnesota, and his house had been reportedly burgled over and over again, at least a half dozen times in as many months. And according to Smith, among the items burgled were $4,000, his father's POW watch, part of his coin collection, and a chainsaw. I would flip too if somebody stole my dad's POW watch and $4,000. So I kind of understand where this guy is coming from when things lead up to the way they do, but he goes overboard in the most Redditor way possible. So because of the break-in, Smith started wearing a gun on him outside of the house and installed a security system. The 2 best measures you can do: start carrying and have a security system. So he's doing everything right. He's taking the precautions he should, he's carrying, he has a security system installed, but then he starts going over the top on November 22nd, 2012. And according to Smith, he noticed somebody driving past his home while he was visiting his neighbors. This person was Haley Kiefer, one of the 2 people that would break into Smith's house later that night. Smith parked his car at a neighbor's house and then went back to his home and waited. He turned on a video camera, removed all the light bulbs from the ceiling lights, and then sat in a chair that was out of view, like a evil villain. This is where we're beginning to see that he thinks he's an anti-hero in his own action film. So about an hour later, Smith heard the windows upstairs break, and Nicholas Brady, a 17-year-old boy, climbed through the window. Smith waited 2 minutes until Brady made his way downstairs, where Smith proceeded to shoot him twice. Brady fell to the bottom, where Smith shot him in the head. There we go. He's so close to doing it the right way. If someone breaks into your house, shoot him. Nothing wrong with that. But he makes a fatal mistake by shooting him twice, letting him fall to the floor miserably, and then fucking Pulp Fiction shooting him in the head like he's some sort of badass. And that's where he starts to go wrong, is where he thinks he is the main character of his own story. It just descends into madness. Smith proceeded to go upstairs, seemingly to scope out the rest of the house, when he ran back down, reloaded his gun, and then sat back in the chair out of view. Just a few minutes later, the 18-year-old Kiefer entered the home, calling for Brady. When she went downstairs, she was subsequently shot by Smith, where he made fun of her and made sarcastic comments like, "Oh, sorry about that." Eventually, Smith draped her barely alive body on top of Brady's and shoots her in the head through the chin, insulting her and calling her derogatory names the entire time. Obviously, Smith went over the top yet again. There's nothing wrong with shooting somebody that forces their way into your house, but once you start tormenting them and then flopping their body around like a fish that you're about to fillet, and then saying a bunch of cringy one-liner catchphrases like he's in an 80s action movie, he definitely did not go about it correctly. And he just goes over the top in every single scenario, which does not fare well for him. So Smith waited the next day to report the crime to the police because, according to him, police deserve to have a holiday too. What a saint. Following the shootings, Smith made a number of statements including, "I am not a bleeding heart liberal. I felt like I was cleaning up a mess, not like spilled food or vomit, not even like diarrhea. The worst mess possible, and I was stuck with it, in some tiny little respect. I was doing my civic duty. The law enforcement system couldn't handle it. I had to do it. I had to do it. The law system couldn't handle her, and it fell into my lap as she dropped her problem in my lap. And she threw her problem in my face, and I had to clean it up." So I think this guy thinks he's Paul Kersey from the Death Wish movies. This reads exactly like a speech that an anti-hero would make at the end of the film. Smith is currently serving life in prison without possibility of parole. That's what confuses me the most. Out of all of these, I'm pretty sure Smith did the least heinous thing by killing 2 intruders, although over the top and sadistically, and definitely murder, definitely should be put away for life or even death sentence. I don't really give a fuck. The only thing that really concerns me is that he wasn't given possibility of parole. People like Omaima Nelson, who dismembered, ate their husband, and lived a whole life of dangerous crime and traffic violations, don't forget the traffic violations, is allowed parole and has been denied parole over and over and over again. After a while, just give up and fucking gas her. So in conclusion, I hope y'all enjoy Thanksgiving. Depending on when this video comes out, you might have already enjoyed it. I might be behind and send this to my editor too late. My editor might be behind and be trying to enjoy Thanksgiving with his family. Like, seriously, what the fuck is the matter with you? You live to supply me videos. You hear me? I'm looking at you through Adobe right now. You live to please me, motherfucker. Okay, don't you forget that. So Thanksgiving is family oriented. It's all about appreciating what you have and who's been placed in your life. It's always so easy to dwell on what we don't have and what we want. Don't worry, that holiday is coming up in just about a month. But we should always love what we are blessed with, no matter who or how much or whatever the fuck. God damn it. But we should always love what we were blessed with, no matter how much or how little. So please, don't shoot your family members dead in a blind fit of rage. No matter how tempting it is, at least hold off until the new year. Oh boy. Oh my. Yay! I think my wife is finished cooking.
Oh, sorry, babe. I forgot.
What the fuck was that?